All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we are unmasking the Enneagram. Now, if you're tuning into this, you probably already know that human behavior is incredibly complex. But this system, it gives us this brilliant, almost X-ray vision to uncover what truly drives us beneath the surface. Today, we're going to zero in on the first three types. We're going to unpack their unconscious motivations, those hidden engines running in the background, and the deep-seated beliefs that make them tick.
So think about it for a second. Have you ever wondered what secretly drives the people around you? I mean, think about your colleagues, your closest friends, your family. Why is it that one person is completely obsessed with getting every tiny detail perfect, while another will literally bend over backwards to help you out at 2 in the morning, and someone else is just constantly, relentlessly chasing that next big promotion? And even more interestingly, why do these exact same people sometimes act totally out of character when the pressure is on? The Enneagram is amazing because it doesn't just put you in a box. It actually shows you the box you're already in, and it explains the hidden mechanics of how you operate.
Okay, let's kick things off with type 1. Picture someone who is basically trying to meticulously trim reality with a pair of tiny scissors so it perfectly matches their incredibly high internal principles. This is the perfectionist, also known as the reformer. On the outside, they usually look super confident, very composed, a bit serious. They speak carefully, right? They choose the exact right word, their posture is perfectly upright. But internally, they are on this relentless quest to make the world better. They sincerely believe that if everyone just stepped up and strived for their highest ideal, the world would be this flawless place. To really get inside the head of a type 1, imagine a messy, chaotic bowl of alphabet soup. Now, for most of us, hey, it's just soup, right? We eat it and move on. But for a type 1, coming face to face with the natural, disorganized chaos and imperfections of everyday life, it actually causes them genuine physical discomfort. It's wild. Their attention just automatically highlights the flaws in any room, any project, or even any person they care about. It's a completely instinctive reaction.
But imagine taking that same alphabet soup and perfectly arranging the letters into a precise, neat block. For a type 1, that brings genuine physical relief. When reality finally matches their strict ideal, like when a task is completely finished, every single error is corrected, and everything is right where it belongs, they finally feel this deep sense of satisfaction. It's just a visceral, undeniable need to bring order out of chaos.
Look at a wild, natural pine branch. It's wild, it's totally asymmetrical, it's exactly how nature made it. But I really want to emphasize here that a type 1's instinct to organize and fix this wildness is completely automatic. It's unconscious. They don't wake up in the morning and decide, I'm going to be critical today. Their brains are just hardwired to spot exactly what is out of alignment. So, here is the absolutely crucial takeaway. When a type 1 points out a flaw in your work, or straightens your collar, or gives you some unsolicited advice, they are absolutely not doing it to be mean. They're actually trying to help you. They want you and the world to achieve perfect order. They're just doing for you what they constantly, tirelessly do to themselves. But of course, you can see how this easily gets misread by other people as harsh judgment, which leads to a lot of totally unnecessary conflicts. Which brings us to the hidden drive of the perfectionist. Their unconscious motivation? It's anger. But wait, here is the catch. Type 1s tend to categorize emotions into strict boxes of good and bad, and anger is definitely labeled a bad emotion. So what do? They repress it. But that energy doesn't just vanish into thin air. It builds up and mutates into righteous indignation. They get so frustrated because they're working so incredibly hard to be responsible, totally denying themselves pleasure, while the rest of the world just seems to slack off and get away with it. This creates this massive, super strict inner critic that constantly polices their own behavior, just to ensure they never make a mistake and face criticism themselves. Because they are carrying around all this intense internal pressure, their behavior can actually shift dramatically depending on their environment. Under severe stress, like when they take on way too much because they literally can't trust anyone else to do it right, they become overwhelmed, self-pitying, and super resentful. They feel entirely unappreciated. But contrast that with a type 1 in comfort. When all the rules are followed and the work is finally done, they can tap into this shocking level of spontaneity. They can suddenly become the life of the party, joyful, uninhibited, and yeah, even the ones dancing on the tables.
Ultimately, their whole life is governed by this one core belief: duty before pleasure. Their immense fear of making a mistake or going down the wrong path in life forces them to just take on all the work themselves. They basically operate under the assumption that if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself.
It's an exhausting way to live, but honestly, it's a very noble pursuit of excellence.
All right, let's shift gears and talk about type 2, the helper. I want you to imagine a person who makes you feel like you are the absolute center of the universe. You know the type. They have this really incredible ability to anticipate your every need, often way before you even realize it yourself. They are the friends who always have a perfectly wrapped gift for you, and it's carefully chosen just for your exact specific tastes. On the surface, type 2s just radiate warmth. They exhibit this extreme generosity and have an uncanny memory for personal details. I mean, they'll remember your cat's name and ask how your kids' college applications are going, even if they haven't seen you in 6 months. They maintain this constant, warm readiness to support their friends and colleagues. They're very often the emotional glue holding a workplace or a family together. But there is a fascinating psychological paradox happening behind the scenes here. Behind all of this incredible selflessness, their unconscious motivation is actually pride. Now, we're not talking about the arrogant, boastful kind of pride. It's actually a deep-seated desire to be absolutely indispensable to you. On a subconscious level, they truly believe that love and acceptance aren't just freely given. No, they must be earned through helpfulness. By making sure you need them, they basically guarantee that you will love them.
And just like our perfectionists, the helper experiences massive behavioral shifts. If a type 2 starts feeling like their endless sacrifices are just being ignored or totally unappreciated, they drop into a deep stress state. All those unappreciated efforts, they curdle into demanding aggression. They can suddenly become incredibly blunt and entitled, demanding the respect they feel they've clearly earned. But in their comfort state, when they feel completely secure in your love, they finally let themselves rest. They stop worrying about everyone else and become deeply creative, finally taking care of their own needs for wants.
So they operate on this rather tragic core belief. Love and attention must be earned. And because they believe this so deeply, they genuinely view caring for themselves as a selfish act. And since, in their minds, selfish people aren't loved, they completely lose touch with their own genuine needs. Pro tip here. If you want to know what a type 2 actually needs, pay close attention to what they are aggressively offering to do for you. They very often project their own unmet needs onto others. Which brings us to our third profile for this explainer. Type 3, the achiever. You can practically feel the innate competitive drive here. It's this relentless forward momentum, like a dart flying directly at a target, or standing victorious on the #1 podium. These are usually the most productive, efficient, and aggressively goal-oriented people you will ever meet. For them, life is just constant movement towards success.
Let's break down their defining traits. The achiever is a master multitasker. They are highly productive, they absolutely thrive on competition, and they're always willing to learn from anyone who's doing it better than them. But you know what their real superpower is? It's their emotional intelligence. They use it to become these highly adaptable chameleons. They can read a room the second they walk in and brilliantly change their masks, or, as they sometimes prefer to call it, their makeup, to impress whoever they happen to be talking to. They know exactly how to behave to project success in literally any environment.
But let's look under the hood and expose their hidden engine. The unconscious motivation of the type 3 is deceit or vanity. Now hold on. This doesn't mean they are malicious liars trying to trick you. The deceit we're talking about is a profound self-deception. They identify entirely with their successes and the admiration of others. They really believe their worth is solely dictated by their external achievements. If they are successful, they are worthy of love. If they fail, they are nothing. They become so deeply identified with their goals that they trick themselves into thinking they literally are their resume.
And this creates a really stark contrast in their personality. On the one hand, they are incredible networkers, right? These highly adaptable social chameleons who can charm the socks off anyone. On the other hand, they are completely disconnected from their own personal emotions. Why? Well, because to a type 3, emotions are just inefficient. Strong feelings just get in the way of working and achieving goals, so they simply suppress them. They literally switch off their feelings to stay on task, which, as you can imagine, can make them seem pretty cold or overly calculating to the people who love them.
I am what I do. That right there is their ultimate mantra. But there is a really heavy cost to living this way. Even the most incredibly successful achievers often face this deep, haunting loneliness. When they finally reach the top of the podium, they look around and wonder, do these people actually love me? Or do they just love this successful mask I'm wearing? They lose touch with who they actually are beneath all the accolades and awards. So I want to end our explainer today with a provocative question, drawn directly from these deep internal conflicts we've been unpacking. Are you living your own life, or are you just wearing the mask of success? Whether you relate to the strict, unwavering internal principles of the perfectionist, the tireless self-sacrifice of the helper, or the relentless, goal-oriented drive of the achiever, understanding these hidden motivations is absolutely key to breaking out of your automatic patterns. What you should really take away from this is that our surface behaviors, they are just the tip of the iceberg. I hope this leaves you guys eager to explore the depths of the other Enneagram types in the future. Keep questioning what really drives you, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.